This is episode 18 of the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast and is titled The Emotional Toll of a Property Claim and How to Stay Sane. Today we're not talking about shingles, drywall, or deductibles. We're talking about stress, frustration, sleepless nights, and snapping at your spouse over a missing receipt while wondering why this whole process feels so much harder than it should. Because here's the truth, a property claim is not just a financial event. It's emotional and sometimes a life-changing event. If you're not prepared for that, it may wear you down much faster than the damage itself. Today, I want to walk you through why property claims feel so overwhelming, what the most common emotional triggers are, and practical ways to stay calm, steady, and sane during the property claims process. And yes, I'll add in a little humor because it's better to laugh than to cry. Welcome to the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast, where we share real-life stories and break down the lessons, mistakes, and wins that can save you time, money, and stress on navigating your property claim, buying your first home, selling your home by owner, and home maintenance and repair tips. I am your host, Fred Turner, and each week I'll guide you through these 4 topics. Why do property claims cause so much emotion? When a tornado, fire, water leak, fallen tree, or hailstorm damages your home, it's not just lumber, windows, and drywall. Your home is much more than that. It's your family memories, your family routines, your sweat and hard work, and it's your safe place. Your home is where birthdays happen, special Christmas mornings, Thanksgiving meals with extended family, and quiet family evenings. It represents protection and stability. So when damage happens, your nervous system interprets it as a threat to your way of life, and it certainly is. Even small claims can feel big emotionally. I have seen grown adults stand in a kitchen with water pouring in from their ceiling and saying, "I have no clue where to even start here." And that's understandable. This has never happened to you, and many people don't really have a plan. Here's a real-life example I call the midnight meltdown. I once worked with a homeowner after a major water loss. Around week 3 of the claim process, she called me at 8:30 p.m. She wasn't upset about the money. She was not upset about the insurance coverage. She was upset because she couldn't find one of the receipts for her hotel meal, and she felt like the whole process was falling apart and she was failing. It had been weeks of disruption, living in a rental property, kids out of their routine, and constant phone calls and decisions that had to be made. The receipt was just the final straw. Here's the lesson. Claim stress builds slowly. It's rarely one big explosion. It's a cumulative pressure. Here are 4 common emotional triggers that can exist during a property claim. This is what I often observe, so let me break it down for you. Number 1 is loss of control. You're used to being in charge of your home. Suddenly, you're waiting on adjusters, contractors, and approvals. Waiting is hard. Not being in control of your home is hard. Number 2 is financial anxiety. Even if your loss is covered, you may worry about stuff like this. Will this affect my premiums? Will I get enough money to rebuild? What if something's not covered? What does appreciation mean, and will I get that money? Uncertainty fuels stress. Number 3, decision fatigue. You suddenly have to decide flooring style, paint colors, cabinets, temporary housing, contractors. That's a lot to take in all at once. Number 4, construction zone fatigue. The house is torn apart. There's lots of equipment and noise everywhere. There are boxes of flooring, sheets of drywall, and wood trim all over the place. And there's construction dust and debris everywhere. This is not the home you've come to know and love. By week 4, even choosing a doorknob style feels overwhelming. Here's another real-life example. A homeowner told me that she burst into tears at a flooring store because she could not choose between 2 nearly identical shades of gray flooring. She said, "I want my old house back." It wasn't really about the flooring. It was more about wanting her house and her life to feel normal again. So how do you stay sane during a property claim? Let's talk about some solutions. Because at the Happy Homeowners Hub, we don't just identify problems, we provide clarity, because Pillar 2 is knowledge is power and can reduce anxiety. Here are 7 practical steps for a smoother claim. Step 1. create a simple system. Stress increases when things feel scattered, unorganized, and out of control. You should have one binder or folder for your claim and receipts, one email folder just for your claim information and communication, and one notebook to log your calls and conversations. Organization does really reduce stress, reduce mental anxiety and chaos of a property claim, and this is exactly why I created the Happy Homeowners Claim Documentation Booklet for navigating property claims. This is all you will need to keep all of your details, notes, and contacts together and organized. It will also walk you through the process step by step. For details, go to my website, happyhomeownershub.com, or see the show notes for details. Step number 2, set claim working hours. Don't let the claim consume every waking hour and cause you to snap at your spouse and your kids. Designate specific times to make calls, send emails, or review documents. Outside of those times, give yourself permission to step away. Otherwise, it becomes a 24-hour mental prison. Step number 3, limit what-if thinking. What if they deny it? What if this costs more? What if something else breaks? What if the contractor doesn't do a good job? What if they find mold? What if? Stay in the facts. Deal with the task right in front of you and don't let your mind wander or play the worst case scenario game. Remember that claims move forward one decision at a time. Step number 4, communicate clearly with your spouse. Claims often create tension between couples. One wants to push hard, the other wants to avoid conflict. Talk openly and align your goals and get on the same page. Divide and conquer. Divide tasks so the stress doesn't fall solely on just one spouse. Remember, you're on the same united team, so work as a team. Here's another real-life example I call the blame game. I once saw a couple argue for 10 minutes about who forgot to clean the gutters, which I assume must have been the original cause of loss. Then later I found out the actual cause of loss was a leak from a cracked pipe behind the wall. The real issue here wasn't the gutter cleaning, it was the stress from the claim. When tension rises, pause and try to think clearly about the task at hand. It's usually not about the gutters. Often, smaller issues can become major issues and triggers because of the stress of your life being turned upside down due to a property claim. Step number 5, maintain your routine where possible. If you're displaced, keep meal times consistent, keep the kids on their similar schedules, and maintain daily habits. Routines create emotional stability even when not at home. Step 6, ask questions without apology. Some homeowners feel intimidated talking to adjusters or contractors, but really, at this point, that's your job during a property claim. Feel free to ask them to explain again if you don't understand, or you can ask the adjuster, where is that written in the policy? Or you can ask, what are my options? Confidence and clarity can reduce anxiety. Step number 7, remember, this is only a temporary setback. Claims can feel endless when you're in them, but they do have an end. Homes get rebuilt, repairs get completed, and life can stabilize once again. I have seen thousands of properties restored. Some take a while, and some are quick. You will get through it, and your home will be better than before. So here's a quick recap. The emotional toll of a property claim often includes loss of control, financial anxiety, decision fatigue, and construction zone fatigue. So to stay sane, follow these 7 steps. Create a simple system, set claim working hours, limit your what-if thinking, communicate clearly, be on the same page as your spouse, and divide and conquer. Maintain your routines, ask questions, and remember, this is only temporary. Knowledge reduces anxiety, and that's why the Happy Homeowners Hub is here. We want to educate you so you understand how claims work, what to expect, how to properly navigate a property claim, and what steps can make a claim easier and less stressful. If you're in the beginning of navigating a property claim right now, I encourage you to check out my book, The Happy Homeowners Hub Handbook for Navigating Property Claims. And to keep your claim organized and on task, the Happy Homeowners Property Claim Documentation Booklet. Both are available on Amazon.com, and you can find more details at my website, happyhomeownershub.com, or see the show notes for details. If you feel overwhelmed about your property claim and want some one-on-one guidance, I offer property claim coaching to walk you step by step through the process. Visit happyhomeownershub.com and click on Claims Coaching to learn more or see the show notes for details. If you would like claim tips, strategies, and home maintenance and repair tips, sign up for my newsletter. Just go to happyhomeownershub.com, head to the Contact Us page, and type the word newsletter in the subject line so I can add you to the list. Here's the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast disclaimer. The information provided in this podcast does not and is not meant to be considered as professional or legal advice and should not be used without consulting a legal professional. In closing, thank you for joining me on this episode of the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast. I hope these tips will relieve your emotional stress during a property claim. My goal is to make your homeownership journey smoother, smarter, and way less stressful. And my desire is for you to become happy homeowners with no regrets. If you have a friend, neighbor, relative, or coworker going through a property claim, please let them know about this podcast. I've got some great stories, tips, and occasional guest experts coming up in future episodes, so stay tuned. And remember, your home is your biggest investment. Be smart from the start. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Fred Turner, and I'll see you at the next episode. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.